Okay, so one other thing we can do to quickly kind of add some filler into our spaces is we can add some little bushes. So I'm just going to add kind of a row of hedges on this edge of this park. I may add some more here too along the sidewalk. Oh, there's an errant line. Why? Um, so I'm just going to sort of start off with the structure of my bush here, sort of like a little V shape, and then sort of there. And I'm going to do this very much like I did the top of my tree. I'm going to define a few areas that will sort of be where the light is hitting, and then everything else will be like darker scribbles because that will be like more in shadow. Since this is going to be sort of a starry night sort of background, that means pretty much anything low is going to be in shadow. It's going to be dark. And so our bush is going to be kind of like that. So I'm just going to be adding a row like this. I'll skip the rest because I realized my last couple of videos have been really long. So I'm going to try to keep unnecessary stuff out of this. Here by the bank, I'm going to add a couple of hedges by the doors. No, not hedges. I'm going to put like little potted plants. And for this, I'm just going to draw my pot. I have sort of a rounded little curve on the bottom, an ellipse on the top. See, you never knew knowing about ellipses would come so in handy, but we really will use them on a lot of objects. Okay, so I've got my two little pots here for my plants. And then for my plants, I'm gonna have these be like succulents. So they're just kind of coming out and they're a little bit spiky. They're like an aloe vera or something. And then I don't really feel like erasing that line. So I'm going to do that on my planter. So that way I don't have to erase the line that's actually running across my pot. We'll do the same thing over here too. I'm shamelessly cheating, but I don't care. And then I'll go ahead and add my there we go. So we have our two little potted plants there. That's two more of your 10 objects, just right there. So that's what I was saying earlier is that, the 10 other objects seems like a whole lot of stuff, but when you have this huge space to fill, that's not going to be that much. We've got one with our bush. We'll have a whole row of those bushes. So that's going to end up being a good bit. And then I can come over here. I can add a little hedge here too. Maybe one of those little boxy bushes that people seem to like. Now, if it's boxy, it's going to follow kind of our perspective rules, right? But we don't really need to get out the ruler for this, I don't think. Just kind of be aware of the fact that this would look like a cube and kind of boxy. So once I've got the basic structure of it in, I'm just going to erase these lines. Okay, I can come along here. Now, I'm going to sort of use that scribbly, scumbly motion for adding in texture here. And I'm going to do a little bit less of that on the top because that's, again, where my light's going to be hitting because most of our light source is going to come from stars in the sky in our finished product. So I'm going to add more of that texture and at the same time add more value as I get closer toward the bottom. So my sides are going to have a bit more texture going on than the top. And I can go ahead and maybe add more over here, right? So if we had this, actually, I'm going to set it back a little bit. So if I was going to do the hedge over the whole, or like kind of wrap here on the corner, that's how it would look. So I've got a bush here. I could split this up into like 3 bushes, maybe. And yeah, okay, you're not gonna be able to see one on the other side of the door. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 already. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of these and not make you sit through all of it. But that is a way you could add additional plants to add more detail and more just quote unquote other items in your piece. So, and we'll look at some other non-plant items in just a second.